This van has some power steering fluid leaking. Power steering rack right here. You've got the high and the low, or the high pressure side and the return line. You can see how rusty the lines are. And up here, that's where they're rusted through. And this is all power steering fluid. And in order to replace them, you got to drop the tank because they run along the inside frame rail here. That's why I removed the gas cap so I can drain the tank. And so we're going to lower the tank, do a tank reseal, and replace these two lines. Okay, so while the gas is draining, actually you can see here there's a whole bunch of power steering fluid, like I said earlier. It's just mounted right to the frame rail and it leaks out. While the gas is draining, you can disconnect the EVAP lines. There are two tubes you got to disconnect here. They mount to the top of the tank. You won't be able to see on camera. I'll show you later once the tank is out. Just put your finger around the pipes and pull. Ow. Same on the other side. Come on. Carefully pry the tank, the expansion bottle loose. Come on. Now's a good time to replace this seal as well. Inspect the filler neck. This metal collar always rusts out. See all the dirt that collects here, and then the moisture gets trapped and it eats away on this filler neck here. boy. Wow. This is some valve grinding compound, or a valve lapping compound that can help the screwdriver stick better. It's not a guarantee, but it can help. Oh. 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 I think that one's loose. That one's also loose. Yeah. Look at all of that now. And we got to push the filler neck. You got to push the filler neck in a little bit, and then we can pull it out. Still stuck a little here. And give it a twist and pull it out. So this is one of the pipes here that on top of the tank that needed to be popped out. See how rusty this is? That's not going to hold much longer. Okay, now we raise it. Everything else is done from underneath. It should be empty now. Tank is only held by 2 straps. I always forget this one. Come on. That looked a little rusty there. Just the one bolt left here. And just the fuel sender. That's all right. I don't think the tank is the greatest either. Might not be too bad, but I'll clean up the outside. But yeah, that's definitely not looking good right here.
Yeah, they're not
And in here, yeah, all of this is bubbling. Okay, so here you can see the rusty lines, and right here is where it's dripping. So anyways, that's it. Obviously, I guess you guys want to see the rest here. I'll disconnect them here. And I'm not sure if they snake in this way or that way. Most likely this way. Kind of. Okay, so I just cleaned up that mess down there, but this screw and this one they might give me a bit of problem here. Otherwise everything else looks like it's going to come apart nicely. That fitting should come apart nicely. That's just a hose clamp fitting. Over on this side, these should come apart nicely. When you take the tank out, you want to, this is the crossover pipe, you want to remove this little hanger. And then remove this crossover pipe. You could reuse it, but what happens is over time these guys break loose here and it separates and then it causes a fuel leak. What I like to do is I remove this plastic piece, I remove the hose, we're going to put new hose on here, and then I reuse this, but instead of this plastic tube I put a fuel hose, and the fuel hose will run along here across and over, and I attach a fuel hose with hose clamps. So this guy sits like this, but what I do is I run a fuel hose across and clamp it. Come on. You can then use as a chisel and try to knock the screw loose. Just trying to make an indentation first. I think it's moving. Yeah. And I know what you guys are saying. Oh my God, he scratched this. Yeah, well, nobody's perfect. Look at all the rust everywhere else. It's one loose. I'm not sure I'll be able to get at this one though. Hopefully that one is loose from being soaked. No, come on. There's a snap-on bit. It's moving. That's what she said. Yes. See how rusty this guy is? It's completely deteriorated. Okay, try to remember that the power steering lines go behind the EVAP purge. This is the EVAP purge that runs to the back. That one's already moving. Come on. That's 19. That one's also moving. Better get a catch tray of sorts. Okay, so there's one. Once one is off, the second one is easier to get to or get at. And it doesn't really matter. Once it's loose, you can turn it by hand. Okay, that's the second one. And over here, there's 19 and I think 17. So this one's 19. Use a flare nut to hold that one. Flare nut wrench. So odds are better that you don't slip. The return line is just held on by clamps, a hose and a clamp. Not a lot of pressure in the return. Come on. Use your hose pick tool. Work the hose free. They also have these types of hose pliers. You can grab the hose and try to wiggle it free, and at the same time pull. Sometimes they're quite handy. They also work well on spark plug connectors. Okay, so I think we're going to move him this way. Might have to take the spare tire out too. Yeah, and then feed it over. And let me see what happens here. The thicker one goes in behind. Just sort of try to remember. It's hanging up on the nut here. Push one back again. There's one. This one should come out in a similar fashion. Maybe even work it out this way. There we go. It's as simple as that. But I did show you. See, Leon, that's how you show customers, or that's how you show your YouTube viewers how to do something. Nice and messy, but not to worry about it. We're going to clean that all up afterwards. There's some rubber supports here that we might have to replace or clean up. We'll see. Definitely quite rusty. Do the best you can. Put it back in reverse of removal. Assembly is in reverse of removal. Thanks for watching. Out with the old, in with the old, the better old. Sorted.